The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
You are unique in all the world. There is truly no one like you. No one looks quite like you, and certainly no one thinks or processes things like you do. Your history, your struggles, and your joys are unrepeatable. No one is wounded just like you, gifted quite like you, or laughs quite like you. You are unique in all the world. So then you could perhaps understand the prayer of the Pharisee in this gospel, who says, "Oh God, thank you that I'm not like the rest of humanity." Well, if I heard you pray those words, "I thank you I'm not like the rest of humanity," I would respond, "Oh yes, you are." Wait, I thought you just said I was unique. I did. You are unique. I am too. But on the most foundational levels, you and I and all God's children are much more alike than different. On those things that truly matter, the things that truly matter, we are much more alike than we are different. We each get lonely and frightened. We each have hopes and dreams. We each love and search for meaning. And importantly for today's scripture, unlike the way the Pharisee saw it, we are each sinful. No exceptions. Notice that when the Pharisee prays, "I thank you that I'm not like the rest of humanity," he is drawing on a sense of himself by the very dangerous process of comparison. But the land of comparison is a lifeless place. Too much of how we think of ourselves comes from our comparisons. We need to quit giving power to how we feel about ourselves according to what we see in other people. Sometimes we beat ourselves up because we don't think we measure up. I'm not as pretty as her. I did not get as good of a grade as he did. My job, my car, my house, my life is not as good as that person's. Or, as this gospel points out, our temptation is to feel better about ourselves by our comparisons, to think we are superior. Thank goodness I'm not like that. The Pharisee was very proud of his religious observance, and he had reason to be. He was so faithful to what he committed to as a good Jew in his day. He was so proud of his religious observance, and he compared himself to someone he named as different. And we all get like that, don't we? It might be our religious behaviors. It might be our nationality or our ethnicity. It might be our politics. We are not like them. We are better than them. But living in a world of comparison will ultimately mess with our minds and our souls. It's truly toxic. Comparison is the thief of joy. And it is actually an awful loneliness. In the land of comparison, we get this false sense of connection with the few we think are right and good, just like us. But we therefore cut ourselves off from the great bond with all God's people. When we think we are better than others, we miss the great, deep connection that is indeed ours, the common humanity that makes the struggles of this lonely world worth living. Instead of comparing ourselves, it is most important that we root ourselves in who God would say that we are, and choose to believe that. Trust that that's true. It's the only starting place. The only starting place. Foundationally, we are each beloved of God and sinners, deeply bonded in our common humanity, deeply bonded. The divisions we create in our minds to separate us are just smoke and mirrors. As I said in the beginning, you are unique in every way. No one looks quite like you, and certainly no one thinks or processes things like you do. Your history, your struggles, your joys are unrepeatable. No one is wounded quite like you, gifted quite like you, or laughs quite like you. What a stunning gift from God to know the beautiful truth of this great bond that is ours. Deep down, you and I, and all God's children, are much more alike than different.